Hey, 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 hey. HQ is back on camera this Saturday morning, right? And we wanted to get into some of these Donald Trump tweets to the True Social, right? Just some of the highlights this week. We've had some interesting things going on this week because of the administration. Uh, you know, some bad. I don't know whether some would be good or not. I haven't found the silver lining right. And maybe some other people have found the silver lining. I don't know. Um, there's calls for all kinds of things in the news that your president is doing. And I have to question, I have to question sometimes his mental health. I have to question that, right? Because when a person does the things that he does, you just have to question those things. I mean, because his mental capacity could or could not be there, and we don't know, right? Because we haven't seen this kind of crash out really. And I'm showing you tweet, the first tweet last Saturday. Lightweight Congressman MTJ, MT, and Marjorie Taylor Brown. Her name is really Green, but he got Marjorie Taylor Brown. Green grass turns brown when it begins to rot. Wow. And this is our president. Betrayed the entire Republican Party when she turned left, performed poorly on the pathetic View, and became the rhino that we all know she always was. Just another fake politician. No different from Rand Paul Jr., Tom Massey, who got caught being a full-fledged Republican in name only, Make America Great. Well, see, this is Donald Trump's revenge for them backing the Epstein files. And he is all about loyalty because he's not a smart man. And he knows he needs people around him who's loyal because he's such a corrupt human being. And you always want to get loyalty from people when you know that you're not one of those loyal people, but you need people to be loyal to you. Now, to be fair, Marjorie Taylor Greene has been very loyal to the MAGA party and his party, and she's been vicious in her defense and vicious in her support. So for him to come after her like this, she definitely must have did something to turn away from him, and he thinks she's so extremely disloyal. The story is she wanted to run for governor or Senate, and Donald Trump said he was not going to back her and showed her some polls stating that she was not in a good position to be backed. And so he decided not to back her, and then she got upset. And this is when she got on a revenge tour. And it could be true because she's a petty human being. I don't believe this turn of events is anything other than a calculated risk. I think somebody's talking to her. I think somebody is putting her in a position so that she can run for something else. I don't know what, because she's not a very smart woman, but whoever's standing behind her is telling her. Also, the House and Senate pensions kick in January, 8th, 9th, and 10th, somewhere around there. And she's, or the third, first, second, or third, or something like that. And she's quitting on right before or after that. I don't know which one. So, whatever she's doing is very strategic, so don't be fooled. She's just a sheep. She's just a fox in sheep's clothing. That's all. She's no different. She did not do an about face. Now she's catching the ire. She's catching the displeasure of Donald Trump, and that is a terrible thing to most Republicans. That's why we have the weak Republican Party that we have. That is why none of them stand up for None of them stand up against Donald Trump, because they're a weak Republican Party where one person dictates everybody's move, and it's a terrible thing to watch. So right now, we can't depend on the Republican Party to govern anything that will help the American people, because they're only interested in currently right now, because they cannot do anything other than what Donald Trump is doing, and they know what he is doing is destructive. They're just going to try to fleece the American public and line their pockets. So this is where we are with the Republican Party, and this is why Marjorie Taylor Greene has gotten the X, the XXX. I am withdrawing my support and endorsement of Congressman Marjorie Taylor Greene. This is another endorsement. This is another entry into True Social where he runs down the record, despite my creating record achievements for our country, including a total complete victory of the shutdown. No, the shutdown was all you. Once you went to jail, once you went to court 2 times, that meant you owned the shutdown. So you own the shutdown, Donald Trump. Achievements for our country include a total and complete victory on the shutdown, closed borders, low taxes, no men and women's sports attract. See, and this is the cultural thing that most people don't like. We don't concern ourselves about the cultural thing. We understand people's cultural thing. It's your personal thing. That's not something that is supposed to help us govern the country. We're not governing the country on social issues. We're governing the country on economics, and right now people need help. People are hurting, and we're not concerned about these cultural things. But the right, the Republicans always seem to think, make everybody hate something else less than you, and then you will come out better and you're a better person. That's the bad part. This is always how it is for the Republicans. Make another person feel bad and you'll feel better. Okay, NBC's Seth Meyers is suffering from an incurable case of TDS. I don't know where y'all get that TDS from. We just don't like your president because he's a shitty president. It is what it is. It is what it is. Okay, so let's see. We still have not gotten the decision about the tariffs, which is another thing, right? All this week has been about is the Epstein files, and with the Republicans signing it unanimous consent in the Senate, which Mike Johnson really hated because he wanted them to put some amendments forward. He wanted them to stall the Epstein files. That was not possible. Nobody's stalling anything. Just release the files, right? And be done. So, on True Social, we had, as of Friday night, aboard Air Force One to the fake news media, House Republicans should vote to release the Epstein file. They've done that because we have nothing to hide and it's time to move on from this Democratic hoax. See, it's not a hoax. I wish you would stop saying that because it makes you sound dumb. It makes you sound slow because we know it's not a Democratic hoax. We know this is something that was started in an investigation. It is what it is. Don't call it a hoax. Radical left lunatics. This language all the time. And yet and still we're supposed to be okay with this language, right? Here's the thing. Marjorie Taylor Greene said she is done with the fighting. She is done with the fighting. She apologized for the fact that she has done what she has done. Now the president doesn't like what she's saying. The base is splitting, and some are going her way, and some will be going his way. Okay? It just is what it is. The Donald got on here and said, oh, MAGA is me. I know what MAGA likes. MAGA is me. Well, some of them liked Marjorie Taylor Greene too. So I think there's going to be an even bigger break in the people. So let's keep going. Chris, the 34 you fellas again, Pat. Okay. I'm showing in a jaw dropping, seeing it. Well, see, the president just writes about any old thing. It doesn't matter what he writes about. Let's see what else. What else? Under Joe, because the wages didn't add up to prices. Okay, Secretary is going through the 2 quarters. We're going to see inflation curve. See, this is Donald Trump's Secretary of Treasury. And he acts like he's clueless every time he gets in front of the cameras. I wouldn't trust him as far as I could throw. He acts like he has no clue about what goes on in the government every time he speaks. President surprises him with $2,000 checks, and he's not even swift enough to act on his feet and say, I don't think we're going to be able to do that. I don't think so. No pushback whatsoever. Republicans have no pushback whatsoever. Okay, what else? President and First Lady signed something. Okay. Invested trillions of dollars. Okay, okay. Always say no to drugs. Okay. We are looking for the last few entries here. All of these are Democrats who were people who were in the administration of Obama and Biden, and Donald Trump. As you can see, they are on the hit list. That's wild, right? They're on the hit list for the president. You know that. Then Trump goes on to to blast the Indiana Republicans. The entire United States, Republican or Democrat, only Indiana Republican State Senator Rod Bray, a complete and total rhino. See, notice how you're a rhino if you don't do what Trump says. It doesn't mean you're a rhino. Marjorie Taylor Greene is a rhino. Massey is a rhino. All these people are rhinos. If you're total rhino, as opposed to redistricting for purposes of gaining additional seats in Congress, right? Because they refuse to do the map that Trump wants them to do, now they're rhinos. He says lines are forming to run against Rhino Indiana Senator Rod Bray and those few other senators who support him in the upcoming primaries. And see, this is what the Republicans are afraid of. They're always afraid that somebody's going to primary them because they're only interested in power. They're not interested in governing, they're interested in power. This is our problem. We need to get these people out of office. That includes the president if he doesn't want to do the bidding of the United States people, right? He wants 2 congressional seats extra. Well, no, it's not going to make a difference because you have not put America first. And so here's the thing. Nobody is going to try to do illegal things just to help Donald Trump out. Okay. The only healthcare I will support or approve is sending the money directly back to the people with nothing going to the big fat rich. Why? Why are you so concerned about the big fat rich donors and insurance companies? You never had a problem with giving them money before. So why do you have a problem giving them money through our insurance? He says, oh, no, they're not going to get more money than me. No, nobody's going to do that. So this is wild. Okay. He said, I don't care when the Senate passes the House bill, whether tonight or at some other time in the near future. I just want Republicans to take their eyes off of all the victories that we've had, including the Great Beautiful Bill. Great Beautiful Bill. And I challenge someone to put into the comment section, what have you done in the Big Beautiful Bill that helped regular, ordinary American people? Not one thing. Not one thing. Okay, not us regular, ordinary individual people have you helped. I just don't believe that he puts America first. He puts himself first. It is what it is. Yes. Okay, nobody did anything about it until I came out. Okay, what else does he have in this social imagine America because of President Trump? Okay. So this is what he's been doing on his social. Let me see what else the next thing. Okay. Tremendous atrocities taking. He says tremendous atrocities are taking place in Sudan. It has become the most violent place on earth, and likewise, the single biggest humanitarian crisis. Food, doctors, and everything else are desperately needed. See, we're all over in other people's countries. This is what I don't like. Why are you worried about what's going on over there? Arab leaders from all over the world, in particular the highly respected Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia. Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia. You got to get in bed with people you just do not want to get in bed with. I guess this is another person that we have to get in bed with because it is what it is, right? Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia. He has other fish to fry, and here are the pictures of him meeting with the Saudi Arabians. Elon Musk, of course, that treacherous ex-Democrat, you name it, Saudi Arabia. Okay. Jeffrey Epstein, who was charged by the Trump administration in 2009, not the Democrats, was a lifelong Democrat, donated $1,000 to Democratic politicians, and was deeply associated with many well-known Democratic figures. Just because he continues to say things doesn't mean we believe it. This president is always saying things, thinking we're going to believe it just because he continues to say it. We know he was your friend. Just admit that he was your friend. Admit that you did business with him. Admit that you knew he was trafficking women. Admit that you participated in some of the parties that he had. That's all you got to do. Now, Communist Mayor of New York City, Zohran Dami, has asked for a meeting. We have agreed that this meeting will take place in the Oval Office. So, the meeting did take place. Okay? The meeting did take place. Here we are. I don't know who this is. It looks like the footballer or that what is it? South American soccer player. Oh yeah, for the FIFO. Yeah, for them to come to have their thing here in the United States. Here he is again with the president. Ronaldo, that's him. Great guy. Yeah, I remember that. What does ABC fake news keep Jimmy Kimmel? Why do they keep Jimmy Kimmel? A man with no talent and very poor television ratings. No, he beat you at your own game, president. See, that's the thing. It's free speech, but the president can't call for your firing because of free speech. Then it's something else. It's not just called free speech or attacking free speech. It's something else. And then we get to the seditious behavior at the highest level. Each one of these traitors to our country should be arrested. This is regarding the Democrat congressmen and women who put out the PSA to the our troops saying they must follow lawful orders and they must disobey unlawful orders. And then the Trump administration, of course, he's so petty, so he took it personally. So he said it's called seditious behavior at the highest level. Each one of these traitors to our country should be arrested and put on trial. This is beyond the pale. Their words cannot be allowed to stand. We won't have a country anymore. No, your words can't be allowed to stand. Seditious behavior. That's execution. And you call for it as a president. He says, why aren't they under arrest for sedition, thrown out of their offices? Enough is enough. No, you should be thrown out of your office. This is what that means. You're the one who was inciting violence. You're the one who was inciting insurrection or inciting this particular behavior. It's called a seditious conspiracy, and every one of them should be frog marched out of their homes. 3 of them, Fox News cameras filming the whole thing. And this, he continues to do rant and rave. I think they should be charged with sedition. Also save those tapes and run them when the new democonomy is in office. I don't understand what's going on. He's melting down here on social media. Domestic terrorist Democrats always causing chaos and destruction, destroying people's lives. It's because he cannot intimidate a Democrat. Once you realize you're not going to intimidate us and we're not going to even deal with what this downfall and this meltdown is, he is just going to have to deal with it. If they don't follow orders, they should be fired. They don't follow unlawful orders. That is what the congressman said. Don't follow unlawful orders. Not that they don't follow your orders. Don't follow unlawful orders. And he knows the things that he is doing are unlawful. Some of the things he's doing unlawful, specifically with ICE. That's a personal police department. And they're doing some unhinged things, including people getting dirt naps within their custody. Young man just took a dirt nap with his hands and feet tied behind his back with some kind of rag in his mouth. And this is, according to newspaper reports, it is something that one of his family members reported, that people are getting dirt naps in the custody of ICE. I think we have gone way beyond trying to get immigrants out of the country. I think you're going beyond that. And I would not be surprised if there were Proud Boys behind those masks. And that might be the case. Because why would you be afraid or ashamed to be on camera putting people out of the country if you were just a regular patriot? Why do you have on a mask? This is the problem I have. The Dems are getting closer and closer to being on their way out. Yes, we're going to be on our way to get you out of office. It's not a matter of them getting out of office. It's a matter of them trying to get you out of office. Another one. Those Democratic veterans took the same oath I did to defend this country from domestic enemy. It's a lifetime commitment. What should they do? What should the American people do when the domestic enemy is within? Impeachment or the 25th Amendment? 25th Amendment is going to be very difficult, but impeachment might be within our grasp because you might have some Republicans on your side. What should they do? What should the American people do when the domestic enemy is inside? Okay, there's a foreign enemy who declared war on his nation, 9/11. They've never sued for peace. So when Obama was giving aid to Al Qaeda, Libyan rebels in Benghazi, and the veteran Democratic Congress members part of that cover, it's no wonder they are now asking members of our military to commit treason. And you see, there's smear after smear after smear. Person cannot take accountability for the things they do and for the things they say and for the bogus stuff that they conduct on behalf of this country. Hang them, George Washington would. See, and this is another inappropriate statement by the police, by this president. And he doesn't see how inappropriate he is. How inappropriate, how small, unlawful is the key word, folks. Unlawful. That's correct. That's the key word. Indict them all. If you give unlawful orders, they have a right to not follow those unlawful orders. And that's all they're saying. And we get this all throughout the night, all throughout the day. Insurrection, treason. Insurrection, treason. Well, this is very bad, dangerous to our country. Their words cannot be allowed to stand. Seditious behavior from traitors. Lock them up, President DJJ. And he can seditious behavior, punishable by death. I think he spiraled out of control. I think you have spiraled out of control, and he can't control his worst impulses. Here in his last posting, he has pictures of him and Mondani in the Oval Office. It was like a whole nother human being. When Mondani was having the meeting with President Trump, it was like a whole nother. You see, Mondani normally has a smile on his face. Where's the smile? Where's the smile? Where's the smile? We don't see it. Something occurred. We don't know what, but something occurred. Because he's normally smiling, right? So we never know until it's late. It was a great honor meeting Zohan Mondani, the new mayor of New York City. Thank you. Minnesota under George Walsh is a hub of fraudulent money laundering activity. Now, with no basis, no paperwork, no clues, no investigation, it's a hub of fraudulent money laundering activity. This is the desperate politician president. There's nothing wrong with posting on social media. It's what you post on social media. Okay, I am, as President of the United States, hereby terminating effective immediately the temporary protected status for Somalis in Minnesota. Wow. He's canceling the TPS for the Somalis in Minnesota. Somali gangs are terrorizing the people of the great state, and billions of dollars are missing. Send them back to where they came from. It's over, President Bishop. You're making policy on the fly. See, this is what I don't like. Without proof. You haven't given the American people proof, so why are you doing it? But it doesn't matter because the Republicans have no pushback for this president. This president is going to continue to do the things he is doing. Marjorie Taylor Brown, Traitor Brown, because of the plummeting poll numbers and not wanting to face a primary challenger with a strong Trump endorsement, where she would have no chance of winning, has decided to call it quits. Her relationship was the worst Republican congressman in decades, Tom Massey of Kentucky, also known as Rand Paul Jr., because he votes against the Republican Party and really good legislation did not help her for some reason, primarily that I refused to return her never-ending barrage of phone calls. Marjorie went bad. Nevertheless, I will appreciate Marjorie and thank her for her service to our country. See, this is terrible. You do one thing to step out of line, and it's over. Okay? You do one thing to step out of line, and it's over. Okay? Now, this is the delusion that's happening. I have just gotten the highest poll numbers of my political career. Now, the highest numbers that he's had. I don't know about that. I do know his ratings seem to be around 38, 39 approval. So if that's the highest you've ever had, hey, good luck, Huss. But this is terrible. Your ratings are catastrophic. Now, this is where the gaslight happens. He wants us to believe what he's saying instead of believing what the poll's saying. And it's more than one poll. If you go to about 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 20 of them, they're all going to say he's under 40%. So if he's under 40% and he's been under 40%, that's catastrophic for a president. So this president is gaslighting us, obviously. Things are really rocking. Stopping wars and foreign relations seem to be a strong suit. Also rock the border and stopping crime. We get all of that. We do. Through strength, through force, through intimidation. Of course, you're going to get control of those things. But here's the thing: you're doing too many things at once. You really, really, really presented to people this aggrieved white male complex, and that aggrieved white male complex is fueling all of this rhetoric and this garbage that's going on in this country. We need to really stop and focus on the true value of immigrants, true value of who's in the country, and stop playing identity politics the way this president does. Because the way he does it is nasty, and everybody loses, right? So this is him. He said, also the borders is stopping crime. I predicted that the economy with the already highest stock market ever, prices coming sharply down from the Biden disaster, will soon be at the top of the list. Make America great. This is gaslighting 101 because we're supposed to believe everything this president says. It's difficult to believe everything he says because he lies so often and so fluidly. So we're going to keep an eye on his True Social. His True Social always tells the direction of his mind. That seditious behavior really hit close to home. He didn't care about calling anybody piggy. I didn't hear him say it once or mention it once within any of these posts. So he could care less whether he insulted another human being, specifically a woman. And he called a woman, he told a woman, say, hey, Miss Piggy. So he's also still a terrible human being. But this is his True Social, and these are where his true feelings are. And if you want to know, to analyze what he's doing, normally come to True Social. But it is what it is. We will see you again.